how to identify honest people, two-faced individuals, and those who break their promises. Have you ever listened to someone speak, finding their words beautiful and inspiring, only to later realize that their actions tell a completely different story? In this complex world, words are sometimes just a facade, while actions are the truest reflection of a person's character. Often we place our trust in promises, compliments, or even apologies, only to be left wondering why disappointment and mistrust seem to linger. The gap between words and actions is more than just a disconnect. It's a lens through which we can discern someone's true character. This understanding can reveal whether they are genuinely honest and reliable, or merely putting up a front to mask inconsistencies. Learning to recognize this difference not only protects you from emotional harm in relationships, but also helps you cultivate authenticity and true values in your own life. Why are words and actions so important? Words hold immense power. They can inspire hope, ease pain, and even transform lives. However, words without actions quickly lose their significance. Think about an unfulfilled promise. The disappointment and hurt it causes can linger, eroding your trust not just in others, but sometimes even in yourself. On the other hand, actions are the clearest proof of someone's true intentions. An apology is meaningless without accompanying change. A promise is nothing but empty sound if not followed through with concrete action. This brings us to an essential question. How can we distinguish between those who say one thing and do another, and those who live authentically and align their actions with their words? In today's video, we'll delve into how to identify three types of people: the honest ones, the two-faced individuals, and those who break their promises. We'll help you recognize their traits, understand their impact on your life, and learn effective ways to deal with them. Join us as we uncover lessons from those whose words and actions are always in harmony, and learn how to maintain trust and peace in your own life. Be sure to stay until the end of the video, as the valuable insights we'll share could transform how you perceive the relationships around you. If you're ready to embark on a journey to discover authenticity and genuine values in life, let's dive into this meaningful discussion. Life is a mirror, reflecting back what we put into it. In every encounter and every relationship, we seek honesty, a trustworthy word, a consistent action. Yet sometimes the disconnect between someone's words and actions leaves us with lasting impressions and complex emotions. In this section, we'll take a closer look at three types of people: the honest ones, the two-faced individuals, and those who break their promises. By understanding their behaviors, we can learn how they influence our lives and, more importantly, how we can grow from these experiences. 1. Honest people. Consistency between words and actions. Honest people are a beacon of light in life. Their words are not just promises, but commitments that they uphold through their actions. With them, you find peace of mind and trust, a sense that no matter how chaotic the outside world may be, they will always be someone you can rely on. Key characteristics of honest people. Their words and actions are always aligned. They don't make promises they can't keep, and when they do speak, they put in every effort to follow through. They aren't afraid to admit their mistakes. For them, honesty isn't about perfection, but the courage to face the truth. They honor their commitments, even when it requires sacrifice or significant effort. Think of someone who has supported you during difficult times. They promised to be there, and they truly showed up. Not because they had extra time, but because they valued the importance of their word. They didn't need to explain or justify their actions. Their deeds spoke for themselves. Honest people teach us that trust is built not through flowery words, but through small, consistent actions. If you want to become someone others can trust, start by saying less and doing more. Let your actions be the evidence of your promises. 2. Two-faced individuals, words and actions in conflict. Two-faced individuals often bring discomfort, confusion, and sometimes heartbreak. They may speak with sincerity and sweetness, but their actions betray the trust they build. They can make you feel loved and valued, yet harm you behind your back. Key traits of two-faced individuals. Their words often change depending on the situation or the person they are interacting with. Their actions are typically self-serving, regardless of the harm they may cause others. They tend to present different versions of themselves to different people, making it hard to discern their true character. A real-life example. You may have encountered a colleague who acts friendly and supportive in your presence, but speaks poorly of you or takes actions against your interests behind your back. Their behavior can leave you feeling insecure and even doubting yourself. Two-faced individuals teach us valuable lessons about vigilance and caution. They remind us that not everyone deserves trust at first sight. Instead of merely listening to their words, observe their behavior over time. Maintain a certain level of distance and avoid letting emotions cloud your judgment when dealing with such individuals. 3. Those who break promises, words without actions. People who break promises may not intend to hurt you, but they often leave you disappointed. These are individuals who make grand promises but fail to follow through. They aren't necessarily bad people, but they lack commitment and responsibility in their words. Key traits of those who break promises. They make promises easily to impress others but fail to deliver. They often have excuses or justifications for their inability to keep their word. They may not realize that each broken promise weakens the trust others place in them. A typical example. Imagine a friend who promises to help you move but doesn't show up. Their reasons might range from being too busy to simply forgetting. But for you, the feeling of being let down is undeniable. Those who break promises teach us the importance of setting realistic expectations. Once you recognize someone's habit of failing to follow through, learn to set boundaries for your expectations. Don't let their unreliability cause you repeated disappointment. The impact of discrepancies between words and action. The alignment of words and actions forms the foundation of trustworthy and lasting relationships. When they are in harmony, we feel secure, understood, and deeply connected with others. However, when words and actions are at odds, trust is damaged, inner balance is disrupted, and emotional scars are often left behind. Honest people, pillars of stability in our lives. Honest individuals, with their consistency between words and actions, serve as steadfast pillars in our lives. They don't merely keep promises, but act in alignment with their values and commitments. This creates a sense of safety, reassuring us that there are still sincere and trustworthy people in the world. Two-faced individuals, sources of negative emotions. In contrast, two-faced individuals, with their contradictions between words and actions, become the root of negative emotions like doubt, insecurity, and deep emotional wounds. They make us feel as though we're standing on unstable ground, always needing to be cautious and alert. Those who break promises, bridges left unfinished. Even unintentionally, people who break promises can deeply harm your trust. Their unfulfilled words are like incomplete bridges, leaving you feeling disappointed and losing faith in their promises. Living in harmony with your words and actions. Choosing to live with alignment between what you say and what you do not only nurtures self-respect, but also makes you a source of inspiration to others. Words can touch hearts, but actions leave lasting marks. Choose sincerity in your life so that every word you speak is backed by tangible actions. In doing so, you not only build trust, but also spread the value of authenticity in this world. The gap between words and actions is more than just a communication inconsistency. It's a mirror reflecting a person's character, beliefs, and true values. The effects of this discrepancy extend beyond personal relationships, deeply influencing how we perceive life, trust others, and even trust ourselves. 1. Positive impacts of honesty. Building trust and security. When someone's words and actions are in harmony, they bring not only trust, but also a unique sense of safety, a space where you feel understood and protected. Honest individuals act as guiding lighthouses, strengthening relationships. Be it friendships, love, or professional connections. Knowing someone will follow through on their words lifts a heavy burden off your shoulders. You can freely share, seek support, or plan with them without worrying about broken promises. Their consistency not only reinforces the trust you place in them, but also restores your faith in life itself, showing that amidst life's uncertainties, there are still people worth relying on. Think of a friend who always keeps their promises. Whether it's something simple, like checking in with a call or arriving on time for a meeting, their reliability makes you feel valued. Their timely presence is a reminder that, in this world, there are still people who genuinely stand by you, not just with words, but with heartfelt actions. Honesty doesn't just beautify relationships, it also nourishes the soul. Trust from an honest person feels like a pure stream flowing through your life, soothing hardships and offering strength. Over time, this trust not only fosters security in relationships, but also builds your confidence to face any challenges life throws your way. Cherish the honest people in your life. They are precious gifts in a world full of change. 2. Negative impact of two-faced individuals, loss of trust and emotional insecurity. Two-faced individuals, with their contradictory words and actions, often leave lasting emotional scars. They may smile warmly and speak sweetly to your face, but their actions behind your back tell a different story. This inconsistency not only confuses you, but also makes you question the value of kindness and sincerity in relationships. Initially, their gentle words might create a sense of closeness, as though they genuinely care about you. However, when their actions reveal a different truth, it leaves you feeling betrayed. Over time, these experiences can make you more guarded and cautious, to the point where you may distance yourself from other relationships, fearing further hurt. Their inconsistency creates an atmosphere of instability. You are never sure if their words can be trusted, leaving you constantly on guard. This sense of doubt doesn't just affect your perception of them. It undermines your ability to trust others. Gradually, it can feel like kindness is merely a facade, leaving you emotionally drained and insecure. Imagine a colleague who always smiles and praises you during conversations, but secretly undermines your reputation with your boss or other colleagues. Such behavior not only hurts but also leaves you feeling powerless, as though all your efforts and sincerity have been dismissed. Experiences with two-faced individuals can lead to long-lasting effects, such as building emotional walls to protect yourself. While this defense mechanism may shield you from short-term pain, it can also result in feelings of isolation and disconnection from others. This isolation depletes your emotional energy and robs you of joy and balance in life. Though these experiences are painful, they teach valuable lessons about vigilance and wisdom in relationships. Learn to observe not just words, but also actions to identify people truly worthy of your trust. Remember, the hurt caused by such individuals doesn't define you. It's merely part of your growth journey, helping you become stronger and more discerning. 3. Impact of those who break promises, disappointment and loss of expectation. Individuals who fail to keep promises, even if unintentional, can leave deep feelings of disappointment. Words without actions are like shadows, fleeting, faint, and gradually losing meaning. Repeated broken promises not only damage your trust, but also create invisible barriers in how you connect with the world. When someone makes a promise and doesn't follow through, each unfulfilled commitment feels like an invisible hook pulling you down. You wait, hope, and ultimately feel let down. Over time, the accumulation of disappointment can make you skeptical of all words, not just theirs, but also those of others around you. Every broken promise serves as a painful reminder that your expectations weren't met. This not only hurts your emotions, but also makes you more hesitant to trust anyone again. Empty promises leave you feeling abandoned and devalue the person making them. When someone fails to deliver on their word, they not only hurt you, but also diminish their own credibility and personal integrity. Consider a friend who promises to help you during a move, but doesn't show up. Their reasons may include being busy or forgetting, but the resulting disappointment and sense of abandonment are hard to ignore. Repeated experiences with people who fail to keep promises can cause you to lower your expectations, becoming guarded in your relationships. While this may protect you from further disappointment, it can also hinder your ability to form meaningful connections. Broken promises highlight the importance of setting realistic expectations and understanding the value of actions over words. While they can be disheartening, these experiences remind you to focus your trust on those who consistently align their words with their deeds. When someone repeatedly breaks their promises, their words lose significance. What once carried hope now becomes empty noise. Continuous failure to keep promises not only hurts the listener, but also erodes the speaker's credibility and value. This has a twofold impact. On the listener, they begin to feel that all words are meaningless promises, leading them to stop listening or placing trust in others. On the speaker, they diminish their own worth, becoming unreliable in the eyes of others, which over time harms their relationships and personal reputation. Think of a friend who promised to be there when you needed them, but always found reasons to decline or was absent when it mattered. Even if their excuses seemed valid, the feeling of abandonment was inevitable. Initially, you might try to understand and accept their reasons, but as it happens repeatedly, disappointment gradually turns into distrust. You start questioning, can I really rely on them? Even small instances of broken promises can leave lasting scars on trust. Repeated disappointment can lead to the construction of an invisible emotional barrier, making it difficult to open up or have expectations of others. Reduced ability to trust. You become more cautious about sharing or seeking help, leading to feelings of isolation and loneliness. Limited connections. Your hesitation and lack of trust don't just affect the relationship with the person who broke their promise, but extend to others, making meaningful connections harder to achieve. People who fail to keep promises remind us that words are not always reliable. However, disappointment should not rob you of faith in relationships. Instead, see it as an opportunity to learn how to distinguish between flowery words and genuine actions. Use these experiences to build healthier, more reliable relationships. Remember, you deserve to surround yourself with people whose words are not mere promises, but tangible actions that reflect sincerity and respect. 4. Lessons from the difference between words and action. Life often presents us with diverse experiences where others' words and actions don't always align. Instead of leaving only disappointment or hurt, these contradictions offer valuable opportunities to learn, grow, and gain a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Through the pain of unfulfilled promises, you'll come to appreciate honest individuals, those whose words and actions are always in sync. Their honesty not only builds trust, but also inspires you to improve yourself. Value honest people. They are shining examples, reminding us that sincerity and commitment are challenging but always worthwhile. Apply this to yourself. Make honesty a core part of your values. Before you speak, ask yourself, can I truly deliver on this? When your actions align with your words, you'll not only earn others' respect, but also nurture your own self-respect. By embracing these lessons, you can foster meaningful connections and live a life rooted in authenticity and trust. Honesty is not perfection, but courage. Honesty isn't about being perfect. It's about having the courage to live according to your values and commitments. By doing so, you build sustainable and meaningful relationships. Lessons from encounters with dishonest or two-faced people. While experiences with dishonest or two-faced individuals can be hurtful, they also sharpen your ability to observe and discern. Learning to pay attention, not just to words, but to actions will help you. Observe more closely. Instead of relying on promises or compliments, focus on how they follow through. Actions are the clearest proof of sincerity. Distinguish clearly. Over time, you'll better identify who is trustworthy and who requires boundaries, allowing you to foster positive relationships and avoid unnecessary pain. Sensitivity isn't about doubting everyone, but about recognizing contradictions and making wise decisions to protect your emotions. Not everyone in your life will meet your expectations, and that's okay. Learning to let go of these expectations helps you avoid disappointment and frees you from unhealthy relationships. Here's how to approach this wisely. Dealing with those who break promises. When someone's words and actions don't align, accept that they may not meet your expectations. Letting go doesn't mean abandoning every relationship. It's about protecting your emotions and energy. Letting go of two-faced people. Instead of trying to change them, set boundaries and lower your expectations. This allows you to maintain inner peace without confrontation or resentment. Letting go isn't a sign of weakness. It's an act of strength that frees you from undeserving situations and makes space for healthier, more positive relationships. The difference between words and actions is an inevitable part of relationships. Instead of letting it hurt you, turn it into a lesson about honesty, observation, and letting go of what no longer serves you. These experiences, whether pleasant or challenging, offer opportunities to grow wiser and create a harmonious, fulfilling life. Honesty is the strongest foundation for building trust and meaningful connections. Even when discrepancies arise, they act as mirrors that reflect not only others, but also yourself. Use these experiences to build relationships grounded in trust. Distance yourself from negative energy. Become a person whose words and actions are always in harmony. Actions speak louder than words. Let your actions serve as the clearest proof of your true values. In life, it's impossible to avoid encountering people whose words and actions don't align. These experiences, whether pleasant or not, are valuable lessons that teach you how people operate in the world. Instead of avoiding or blaming them, learn to handle these interactions with grace and peace. Below are ways to engage with the three types of people: honest, two-faced, and promise breakers, while protecting yourself and fostering harmony in your relationships. 1. honest people. Nurture and value your relationship with them. Take inspiration from their consistency to improve your own honesty. 2. Two-faced individuals. Set clear boundaries to protect yourself. Avoid confrontation and learn to lower expectations to maintain peace. 3. Those who break promises. Limit your reliance on them while maintaining a polite relationship. Focus your energy on people who consistently align their words with their actions. By mastering these approaches, you'll not only safeguard your emotions, but also foster healthier, more meaningful relationships. 1. Dealing with honest people. Build trustworthy relationships. Honest people bring light and trust into our lives. They may not be perfect, but they consistently live according to their values. Their words align with their actions, and their sincerity shines through in every gesture. What we should do? Appreciate them. Show gratitude to the honest people in your life. Don't take their honesty for granted. A simple thank you or a small act of kindness in return will strengthen your bond. Trust and collaborate. Rely on them and involve them in long-term plans as they are committed to their promises. Learn from them. Honest people inspire self-improvement. Strive to emulate their consistency between words and actions. Honest individuals remind us that sincerity is the foundation of all lasting relationships. Cherish and nurture your connections with them. They are rare and invaluable gems in your life. 2. Dealing with two-faced individuals. Maintain distance and stay alert. Two-faced individuals can be confusing, as their actions often contradict their words. They may appear supportive in your presence, but their actions behind your back reveal a lack of sincerity. What we should do? Keep a safe distance. There's no need to completely sever ties, but maintain a safe distance. Avoid sharing too much personal information or relying on them for critical matters. Focus on actions, not words. Pay attention to what they do rather than what they say. This will give you a clearer understanding of their true intentions. Limit negative emotions. While their behavior may disappoint or hurt you, don't let negative emotions dominate. Approach them with understanding, but protect your inner peace. Set boundaries. Clear boundaries will prevent exploitation or harm. Be courageous enough to say no when necessary. Two-faced individuals remind us that not everyone deserves immediate trust. They highlight the importance of vigilance and careful consideration in relationships. However, self-protection doesn't mean harboring resentment. Maintain your balance and peace of mind. 3. Dealing with those who break promises. Set realistic and clear expectations. Promise breakers often make grand promises, but deliver very little. While they may not intend to hurt you, their repeated failures to follow through can erode trust and cause disappointment. What we should do? Lower expectations. Don't place too much weight on their words. Observe their actions over time before fully trusting them. Set clear boundaries. When interacting with them, establish specific rules to avoid disappointment. For instance, request small actions to confirm their commitment before trusting larger promises. Take control. Instead of relying on them, take matters into your own hands to ensure your needs are met. Always have a backup plan in case they don't follow through. Address the issue gently. If necessary, address their broken promises calmly and respectfully. Sometimes they need to understand how their actions affect others. Promise breakers teach us the value of managing expectations and taking proactive measures to protect ourselves. By doing so, we can maintain control over our lives and avoid unnecessary frustration. These strategies will help you handle different types of people with grace, ensuring that your relationships are built on trust, sincerity, and mutual respect. Broken promises, a reminder of the fragility of words. Those who break their promises remind us that not all words are trustworthy. Learn to take control of your happiness and plans, ensuring that empty promises don't disrupt your well-being. No matter who you encounter, remember that relationships are not just reflections of others, but opportunities for you to practice kindness, patience, and self-protection. Don't let others' behavior undermine your values. Key actions to take. Learn to let go. Avoid trying to change people who have no desire to change. Your peace matters more than fixing unsuitable relationships. Seek alignment. Surround yourself with honest, positive individuals who inspire and help you grow. Cultivate compassion. View others' inconsistencies as part of human complexity rather than responding with criticism or resentment. The lessons from meeting different types of people. In life, you will meet honest people who build trust, two-faced individuals who sharpen your awareness and promise, breakers who remind you of the importance of actions over words. Respond to each of them with wisdom and kindness while safeguarding your inner peace. Every person you meet offers a lesson. They help you better understand how relationships work and how you can evolve into a better version of yourself. Remember, your strength lies in how you choose to act, regardless of who or what you face. Lessons learned. Life is an endless journey of learning where every experience, good or bad, brings valuable insights. The difference between words and actions is not just a reflection of others, but a mirror for ourselves, teaching us how to understand people, assess relationships, and improve ourselves. In this world, words are like seeds planted in the minds of others, sowing hope and anticipation. But if these seeds are not nurtured with action, they will never grow into sturdy trees. Actions are the sunlight and water, what gives words their real value. We are often drawn to flowery promises, but what happens when those promises aren't fulfilled? Disappointment, loss of trust, and emotional hurt are inevitable consequences. From this, we learn that the value of a person lies not in their words, but in their ability to turn those words into reality. Key takeaways. Evaluate actions. Always assess people based on their actions, not just their words. A sincere word accompanied by action builds lasting trust, while an empty promise leaves only disappointment. Treasure trust. Trust is one of the most important foundations of any relationship. It's not something you can demand or expect. It's a gift that must be cherished and built over time. Give trust wisely. Don't offer trust too quickly, but don't be afraid to trust someone who has proven their honesty through consistent actions. When you encounter an honest person who acts in alignment with their words, your trust is strengthened. However, facing two-faced individuals or promise breakers shows you how fragile trust can be. Choose to give your trust wisely. Guard your heart, but remain open to those who demonstrate sincerity through their actions. In doing so, you create a balanced, harmonious life filled with meaningful relationships. One of the greatest lessons we learn from the disparity between words and actions is that not everyone is worth our expectations. Disappointment often arises when we place high hopes on those who lack the ability or willingness to follow through on their promises. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on all relationships. It's a way to protect yourself from pain and frustration. It's like choosing not to hold on to a cracked cup, making space to find one that is whole, sturdy, and worthy of your trust. Set realistic expectations. Don't cling to relationships that bring no value or cause you harm. Letting go isn't selfish. It's a necessary act to safeguard your peace of mind. While learning to evaluate others through the consistency of their words and actions, we are also reminded of the importance of living honestly with ourselves. Are you following through on what you promise? Are you acting on the values you claim to uphold? Honesty is not just a way to build trust with others. It's a method to nurture your confidence and self-respect. When you live in alignment with your words, you not only become reliable but also inspire those around you. Ask yourself, am I living true to my words? Avoid making promises you're unsure of keeping. Let your actions speak for your true values. Lessons from different types of people. Every person you encounter, honest, two-faced, or promise breaker, offers valuable life lessons. Honest people teach you about sincerity and the value of trust. Two-faced individuals remind you to stay alert and protect yourself. Promise breakers highlight the importance of actions over words. Each relationship, whether positive or negative, contributes to your growth journey. Instead of blaming or resenting, be grateful for the lessons they provide. These experiences help you understand yourself better, improve how you build relationships, and refine how you choose to live. Treasure every encounter, pleasant or otherwise. Each person you meet brings a lesson to make you stronger and wiser. Understanding the power of consistency between words and actions allows you to not only assess others, but also live authentically yourself. Be someone whose words carry weight and whose actions hold value. Life doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't always need to be right. But if you live true to your words, you will feel peaceful, proud, and respected. Let your actions illuminate the best values within you and serve as inspiration for those around you. Remember, words may be fleeting like the wind, but actions leave enduring marks. Live with sincerity so that every relationship becomes a meaningful connection and every word you speak is fulfilled with heart and effort. Conclusion. Life, like a flowing river, winds through unexpected twists and turns, bringing us a variety of people and experiences. Some appear as beacons of light, warming our hearts with their honesty and consistent actions. Others, though they may leave behind disappointment or pain, offer invaluable lessons that help us grow stronger and wiser. Ultimately, what matters most is not what they bring to our lives, but how we choose to respond and learn from them. Cherishing honest people. Honest individuals, those who align their words with their actions, are treasures in life. They not only provide a sense of security, but also reignite faith in the goodness of humanity. When you encounter such people, cherish them. They are the building blocks of long-lasting and meaningful relationships. However, honesty is not just a quality to seek in others. It is a value to cultivate within ourselves. Ask yourself, am I living true to what I say? Am I keeping my promises, no matter how small? By living with honesty, you not only become a trustworthy person, but also create a life of meaning and respect. Lessons from two-faced individuals and promise breakers. Two-faced individuals and promise breakers may leave deep wounds, but those wounds do not define you. They are merely part of your journey to learn and grow. Through these experiences, you will discover how to protect yourself, assess others, and let go of relationships that no longer serve you. Don't let pain turn into bitterness. Instead, transform it into an opportunity to cultivate compassion for yourself and for others. Remember, everyone has flaws, and sometimes the gap between their words and actions isn't intended to harm you, but stems from their inability to live authentically with themselves. Your power lies in your response. You cannot control how others behave, but you have complete control over how you respond. The discrepancies between others' words and actions may disappoint you, but they also present opportunities to practice patience, wisdom, and self-preservation. Choose to keep honest people close and gently distance yourself from two-faced individuals or promise breakers. No need for arguments or blame. Simply recognize that you deserve better relationships and more reliable companions. Embracing the lessons of life. The people we encounter and the experiences we face are all part of the intricate fabric of life, offering lessons that shape us into better versions of ourselves. Whether you meet honesty, deceit, or inconsistency, remember to treat every encounter as an opportunity to grow. Be the example. Live with honesty and let your actions align with your words. Foster compassion. Understand that others' shortcomings do not diminish your value. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with people who inspire trust and distance yourself from those who don't. By doing so, you create a life that is peaceful, meaningful, and filled with genuine connections. Remember, words may fade like whispers in the wind, but actions leave a lasting mark. Every encounter is part of your journey. Every person you meet in life, whether they bring joy or sorrow, is part of your journey. Honest individuals teach you about trust. Two-faced people remind you to stay vigilant. Those who break promises help you realize that not all words are reliable. Each experience contributes to your growth, shaping you into the best version of yourself. Be grateful for these lessons and use them to build a life grounded in honesty, trust, and action. Let every step you take reflect your true values. Actions speak louder than words. In this world, words can be easily forgotten, but actions leave lasting impressions. Live like a light, without saying too much, but always shining through your deeds. Be someone others can trust, and someone others can trust, and someone who brings peace to those around you. If you've ever felt hurt by the inconsistency between someone's words and actions, remember that you are not alone. Use those experiences to build inner strength and to become a person whose actions mirror noble values. Step into the world with sincerity, because it's the way to transform your own life while bringing light into the lives of others. Thank you, and join us on this journey. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We hope these reflections on the difference between words and actions not only provide deeper insights, but also inspire you to build a life founded on sincerity and actions aligned with your values. If you found this content meaningful and helpful, please subscribe to the Buddhism Teaching channel to continue this journey with us. The channel will bring you valuable lessons from Buddhist philosophy, inspiring stories, and practical guidance to help you live a peaceful, balanced, and meaningful life. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss any new videos. If you have thoughts, questions, or stories to share, please leave them in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. Once again, thank you for being here, and let's continue spreading positive energy together.
On a quiet evening in the small house on the edge of town, John stepped through the doorway of the nursery, his eyes pausing on Rudolph, the family's loyal German shepherd. The soft glow from the nightlight bathed the small room in warmth, but Rudolph's expression was one of vigilance. He stood motionless beside baby Max's crib, his gaze fixed intently on a corner of the room, as though something there demanded his unwavering attention. A low, steady growl rumbled from Rudolph's throat, not aggressive, but enough to fill John with a sense of unease. This scene was no longer new. For the past 2 weeks, Rudolph had displayed the same behavior every evening. By day, he was a friendly, gentle dog, but come nightfall, his demeanor completely changed. John, a calm and cautious man, couldn't hide his worry. Leaning against the doorframe, he watched Rudolph's strange behavior with growing concern. "This isn't normal," John muttered, his voice low as Lisa entered the room carrying a steaming cup of tea. Lisa, ever composed, gently placed a hand on John's shoulder. "Maybe Rudolph is just reacting to something we can't sense. He's always been sensitive." But John couldn't shake the feeling that Rudolph was trying to tell them something important. The dog's actions didn't seem impulsive or erratic. They were too consistent, too deliberate, as though there was a danger only he could perceive. Determined to understand, John decided to observe Rudolph closely. He sat down next to Max's crib, his eyes following every move of the dog. Rudolph stood in the corner, his gaze fixed on an invisible point on the wall, his steady growl continuing from deep within his chest. Gently stroking Rudolph's head, John whispered, "What are you trying to protect us from, Rudolph?" Rudolph tilted his head slightly, his ears twitching at a faint sound coming from somewhere in the room. John immediately noticed, but everything seemed to fall silent right after. He thought back to the first days they had brought Rudolph home from the shelter. A skinny little dog with scruffy fur and eyes that always watched people cautiously. But within months of living in their warm home, Rudolph had transformed. He became friendly, always greeting them enthusiastically whenever they returned, and quickly becoming an indispensable part of the family. When Max was born, it was as if Rudolph understood that the baby was a new member who needed protection. He spent his days by Max's crib, curling up nearby and calming the baby whenever he cried. Rudolph wasn't just a dog, he was a companion, the family's most loyal protector. But now, Rudolph's unusual behavior felt like an enigmatic warning. During the day, he was still the playful, friendly dog they knew, yet every night, he turned into a tense guardian. "Maybe it's the change in the environment," Lisa suggested, trying to offer a reasonable explanation. "Or maybe he's hearing something we can't." John couldn't dismiss that possibility. He knew Rudolph's senses were far sharper than theirs. But what worried him most was the dog's persistence. This wasn't a passing reaction, it felt like a mission. Something Rudolph felt compelled to do every night. The couple decided to observe for a few more days before taking Rudolph for a checkup. In the following evenings, they noticed that Rudolph always focused on the same corner of the room, the left wall near Max's crib. There was nothing remarkable about it, just a clean white wall with no signs of mice or insects. "Do you think Rudolph might be warning us about something we can't see?" John asked, his gaze fixed on Rudolph's alert ears. Lisa nodded slowly. "We can't ignore this. He's always been such a smart and sensitive dog. Maybe we should find a way to investigate more thoroughly." "Do you think we should take Rudolph to the vet for a checkup?" Lisa suggested, worry evident in her eyes. John nodded in agreement. The next day, they brought Rudolph to their trusted veterinarian. The examination was thorough, but the final conclusion revealed nothing unusual. "Rudolph is completely healthy," the vet said with certainty. "Dogs can sometimes be sensitive to changes in the environment that we don't notice. It could be a faint sound or a subtle shift in the air." That explanation didn't ease John's concerns. He felt that Rudolph wasn't just reacting to something random. The dog's behavior seemed like an intentional effort to warn the family of some hidden danger. "Stephen?" On a quiet evening in the small house on the edge of town, John stepped through the doorway of the nursery, his eyes pausing on Rudolph, the family's loyal German shepherd. The soft glow from the nightlight bathed the small room in warmth, but Rudolph's expression was one of vigilance. He stood motionless beside baby Max's crib, his gaze fixed intently on a corner of the room, as though something there demanded his unwavering attention. A low, steady growl rumbled from Rudolph's throat, not aggressive, but enough to fill John with a sense of unease. This scene was no longer new. For the past 2 weeks, Rudolph had displayed the same behavior every evening. By day, he was a friendly, gentle dog, but come nightfall, his demeanor completely changed. John, a calm and cautious man, couldn't hide his worry. Leaning against the doorframe, he watched Rudolph's strange behavior with growing concern. "This isn't normal," John muttered, his voice low as Lisa entered the room carrying a steaming cup of tea. Lisa, ever composed, gently placed a hand on John's shoulder. "Maybe Rudolph is just reacting to something we can't sense. He's always been sensitive." But John couldn't shake the feeling that Rudolph was trying to tell them something important. The dog's actions didn't seem impulsive or erratic. They were too consistent, too deliberate, as though there was a danger only he could perceive. Determined to understand, John decided to observe Rudolph closely. He sat down next to Max's crib, his eyes following every move of the dog. Rudolph stood in the corner, his gaze fixed on an invisible point on the wall, his steady growl continuing from deep within his chest. Gently stroking Rudolph's head, John whispered, "What are you trying to protect us from, Rudolph?" Rudolph tilted his head slightly, his ears twitching at a faint sound coming from somewhere in the room. John immediately noticed, but everything seemed to fall silent right after. He thought back to the first days they had brought Rudolph home from the shelter. A skinny little dog with scruffy fur and eyes that always watched people cautiously. But within months of living in their warm home, Rudolph had transformed. He became friendly, always greeting them enthusiastically whenever they returned, and quickly becoming an indispensable part of the family. When Max was born, it was as if Rudolph understood that the baby was a new member who needed protection. He spent his days by Max's crib, curling up nearby and calming the baby whenever he cried. Rudolph wasn't just a dog, he was a companion, the family's most loyal protector. But now, Rudolph's unusual behavior felt like an enigmatic warning. During the day, he was still the playful, friendly dog they knew, yet every night, he turned into a tense guardian. "Maybe it's the change in the environment," Lisa suggested, trying to offer a reasonable explanation. "Or maybe he's hearing something we can't." John couldn't dismiss that possibility. He knew Rudolph's senses were far sharper than theirs. But what worried him most was the dog's persistence. This wasn't a passing reaction, it felt like a mission. Something Rudolph felt compelled to do every night. The couple decided to observe for a few more days before taking Rudolph for a checkup. In the following evenings, they noticed that Rudolph always focused on the same corner of the room, the left wall near Max's crib. There was nothing remarkable about it, just a clean white wall with no signs of mice or insects. "Do you think Rudolph might be warning us about something we can't see?" John asked, his gaze fixed on Rudolph's alert ears. Lisa nodded slowly. "We can't ignore this. He's always been such a smart and sensitive dog. Maybe we should find a way to investigate more thoroughly." "Do you think we should take Rudolph to the vet for a checkup?" Lisa suggested, worry evident in her eyes. John nodded in agreement. The next day, they brought Rudolph to their trusted veterinarian. The examination was thorough, but the final conclusion revealed nothing unusual. "Rudolph is completely healthy," the vet said with certainty. "Dogs can sometimes be sensitive to changes in the environment that we don't notice. It could be a faint sound or a subtle shift in the air." That explanation didn't ease John's concerns. He felt that Rudolph wasn't just reacting to something random. The dog's behavior seemed like an intentional effort to warn the family of some hidden danger. "Stephen?"